realized quickly when I got here in 2001 that Rogers Park is a special place.
How is it so special?
Well, we all know about the diversity, and it's culturally vibrant. You know, I'm just floored by the color that you get here. It's like a smell, this movement that you get constantly, and it's humanity. It's not buildings and structure. It really is people.
Neighbors.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I've been literally around the world in some respect. And I've never seen a community like this before. Rogers Park is special, and incidentally, I'm talking here with you today because I have a really strong vision for how a role that Rogers Park can play in bringing the Olympics to the city of Chicago.
Tell more about that.
Well, because Rogers Park embodies so much diversity, because Rogers Park is such an active component of the city of Chicago. When I say that, I mean that Rogers Park is essentially Chicago. It is essentially Chicago. It's historically Chicago. There's a lot here that speaks to the character of the city. So when you think about Chicago, you think about these broad shoulders, you think about these busy people, hardworking folks.
Right.
That's what you get here in Rogers Park. So Rogers Park should be more visible. It should have a voice in terms of what happens with the Olympics, and I think that the International Olympic Committee would be very impressed with our city if they had the opportunity to see what Rogers Park has to offer. I want to say two things about that.
Yeah.
The first thing is our chances are about even. There are 7 cities vying for the games.
Okay.
Second thing I want to say about that is the organization, Citizens for 2016, can impact those changes. Regular Chicagoans and even regular Americans can impact our chances. And I'm going to tell you why. The popularity of our country around the world has gone down lately. The Kyoto Treaty, Guantanamo Bay, the war in Iraq. You know, when you go around the world, and I mentioned earlier that when I was in college and my years after, I did a lot of traveling, and I was floored by the increasing waning popularity of our country. People really have a negative outlook on America. The only way we can change that is if they recognize that, hey, the whole world is here. Not only is it it's not just our government that represents this country, but it's our people. And when you get to meet Chicagoans particularly, you're going to fall in love with this place. You're going to love this place.
Yeah.
And I think that is the problem right now. Infrastructurally, we're doing fine. Everybody knows the city of Chicago builds things well. Okay, we're going to fix this transportation issue. We're going to build buildings. The accommodations are going to be great. Everything's going to be safe. This is going to be a great Olympics if we can get them here. But what they're worried about is that it's not receptive.
People of Chicago don't really want it? Is that what the perception?
Yes, exactly. And I need to tell you something about that. There is a criteria. The International Olympic Committee, the body that makes a decision which city hosts the Olympics, has a criteria. And there are 11 criteria. One of those criteria is one that only we can impact. Only we can impact. And that is public opinion. That is an official criteria for winning the games.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. You know, we want to get people engaged in the mission of the Olympic movement. We're all excited about the games. Okay, the game. If you win it, the game's gonna come here. People are gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
All right, you can have it.
Okay.
You could have the Olympic Games anywhere, and I think people would be excited about it. But the mission, and that mission is about sustainable development. That mission is about gender equity. That mission is about ethnic and racial harmony, access for the disabled. What we want to do, we want to demonstrate to the world, and to the International Olympic Committee, that the citizens of the city of Chicago are living out the mission of the Olympic movement. And we're living out the mission of the Olympic movement. It's not necessarily because we want the games to come here, but that's the kind of people we are. All right?
So what's the next step for Citizens for 2016?
We got a lot. We got a lot planned. The next step, and you heard it, you're probably the first to hear it, we're going to do a massive letter writing campaign. We're partnering with the Chicago Metropolitan YMCA. They got 33 facilities throughout the city. And we're going to focus obviously on youth writing letters. This is something that's never been done before, which is why we call it the America's First Citizens Campaign for the Olympics. It's going to be Olympics that the people are going to bring to the city of Chicago. We're going to do a letter writing campaign. And the letters, actually, there are going to be some postcards, really. Postcards, letters, emails. But the letters are going to be addressed to individual members of the International Olympic Committee. There are 114 members on the committee. They represent 78 countries. Yeah. And essentially what we want to do is have people from different cultural backgrounds to contact IOC members who are from their own cultural background. So this is a really innovative project that I don't think has ever been done before. And at the end of the day, we want to build relationships. We want to build relationships with regular people in the International Olympic Committee.